And greetings once again, primitive Earthworms. Welcome back to Kerbal Space Program. Version 1.1, 64-bit version. Acted a little bit weird. I had a little bit of difficulty getting the thing to load today. I only got maybe, about 6 or 8 mods on this thing. But apparently the new version, I think 1.12 or something, has some weird Unity issue where if you have a Hamachi server in your virtual adapters, even if it's not running, it will screw it up. Really stupid, really dumb. Fix that, squad. Fix it soon, please. It's really stupid thing to be causing a problem with it. So I'm kind of curious as to why that would even be an issue. Let's take a look. We've got crap tons of money to spend right now. We could get unknown object tracking over here. I don't know if we really need to do that. Space plane hangar. That's only a 225 upgrade to the next level. That will increase us to 255 max supported parts. Basic action groups available. Let's go ahead and do that. What can we upgrade over here? We can spend 845 over here. I think I'm going to go ahead and do that. Go ahead and upgrade that vehicle assembly building. And okay, yeah, so we've got some things upgraded here. I think our launch pad is fully upgraded. Our astronaut complex, of course, is fully upgraded. And yeah, doing pretty good. So today, I think we might attempt to do a MUN mission. Go to the MUN, the Olivia MUN. See if we can cram even more hot dogs in her big fat mouth. So anyway, let's see. I think I'm going to maybe try and do kind of a version of our MUN here and see if this will work getting us to the moon. And first thing we're going to do is kind of separate our launch lifter from this part here, because I think we're going to need some slight alterations in this. I don't think this is quite enough fuel for as sloppy as I fly, as much fuel as I waste. And this is great for Minmus with its low gravity, but for the moon, I think we're going to need maybe just a bit more fuel. We just need maybe... I think we can take the aerodynamic thingies off of there and maybe, let's see, go 3-way symmetry here, and perhaps that will be just enough fuel, a little extra fuel to get us onto the moon and back, and hopefully that'll do it. I don't know if we'll need much more to get up out of the atmosphere here. So let's go ahead and see if this is going to work, see if this is going to do it for us. I guess we'll just call this Moon 1. And swing that, and we're going to do the same thing we did before. We're going to take Jeb out of there, and we're going to put Bob in there. And of course we got our Probodobodine is going to be doing the flying, because Bob's not much of a pilot, but he sure is one big ball of badassery in landing on planets and gathering crap tons of science. So let's see if we can send a man in their can to the moon and back. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is hit our map here. So set the moon as our target. We're going to hit it. And yes, we need full throttle. So we're going to just revert to launch there. Gonna waste a little bit of fuel there. So yeah, okay, let's Z throttle all the way up here. We're going to hit it. And there we go. Hit T to turn on our SAS. And the gravity is really pulling us over right now. And okay, yes. This is going to be actually my 3rd attempt at launching this thing here. This thing's pretty damn heavy, actually. And it does have a tendency to kind of roll over on its side way too early. The gravity just really pulls the nose down, so I really don't know if this thing's going to be enough to get this slightly heavier. We're not carrying that much more fuel, but it is slightly heavier, so getting this thing into orbit might be a little bit tricky, but we're going to try it again. Full throttle. And we're going to try to hold the nose of this to turn our SAS on. Try to keep this thing straight up and down until we get a little bit of velocity going here. Our marker is wanting to go all over the place. This thing really wants to roll over. We don't want that though. Really just holding down the A button, trying to bring the nose back west, and it just doesn't want to seem to do it, despite the SAS. So it really looks like this rocket is going to fail. It just can't do it, so let's go ahead and revert all the way back to the vehicle assembly building. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to put this guy right there for now. We're going to take these off, and let's go with a three-way symmetry here. And the same thing with these guys here. Maybe it's going to be 3 rockets is what we're... 3 boosters is what we're going to need on this thing. I'm going to go ahead and reduce the throttle on our main engine. And now it looks like we're going to have to throttle full anyway. Let's turn SAS on. And we're starting to shed some weight now. I don't know what's going on here. It just completely freaked out, probably because of the weight distribution. So yes, this is obviously not going to work. I think one of the problems where we just have way too much fuel in this thing. So what I think I'm going to do is we're going to take these guys off right now. We're going to move these down to right about here, and maybe just take 1 tank off of each of these guys. I don't know if this is going to be enough to get us there. On our MUN ship we had, 6 tanks on here. We still have 6 tanks on here, so what I think I'm going to do is we're just going to add a little bit more fuel, maybe half as much fuel onto these guys. Sweet, and we're just going to bring these guys up maybe about like that. Okay, attached our fuel lines, and let's see. I don't know, this is pretty ugly. Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. Let's find out. We've got our staging, looks good. And, sure, we want to add another stage in here and separate this stack decoupler from the Terrier engine start there. And, okay, let's see if this works any better. Let's throttle all the way up. SAS is on, and... maybe time accelerate forward a little bit. I'm just going to keep her straight up and down until we get to, maybe about 7,000. Having some twist action going on here. I'll have to hit the Q button to compensate for that. I'm going to point her over at about 15 degrees. About 12,000. Let's get her over about 45 degrees. Whoa. And yes, it is spinning all over the place. Come on. And we're getting some automatic science. Let's keep that 90 degree where it needs to be. Okay, cool. So let's go to our map view. Our time to apoapsis is not going up. That is not always a good thing. You want your time to apoapsis to be a number that's constantly increasing. Otherwise, you can be in trouble of not getting into orbit. So we need some more sideways momentum going here. Let's see. And we ran out of fuel there. It showed us having more fuel on this stage. I don't understand sometimes how this resources window works. It's a little bit funny. Okay. As long as we stay above 70,000, we should be in good shape. I'm just going to go ahead and let it point at the prograde marker instead of at the horizon right now. Hopefully maybe bring this up a little bit. And point towards the horizon and burning. Hopefully our periapsis will come up pretty soon. And it's not really great right now. I guess we're just barely in orbit. It's pretty ugly. Okay, let's set the moon as our target. I'm just going to go ahead and warp over to this ascending node. Make a little inclination adjustment there. Okay, I think we point at our anti-normal node. Nope, we want to point at our normal node, so we're going to have to roll her over. This big old lumbering beast. I could get rid of this launch stage here, but it's got just a tiny bit of fuel left in it, and I just want to go ahead and use that up and save as much fuel as I can. I've already gone past our node. Try to get that to read about 0.0. And that's all the fuel she wrote for this stage. Let's go ahead and just get rid of her. And sweet, okay. Let's warp over to our descending node. And this time, it'll be a little easier to turn. We want to point at, I think, the normal vector. And we'll just give it a little squirt there. There we go. Now we got a 0.0. And we should have at least inclination alignment now with the moon. Okay, groovy, groovy, groovy. So next thing we want to do is make a transfer to the moon's sphere of influence right over here on 90 degrees. And ignore some of these other derelict ships up here. We gotta go rescue these guys. And I think, yeah, probably right about at this ascending node. That's probably where we'll do our burn. And then by the time the moon swings around to here, we should have some kind of an encounter. We'll pull this out until we get one. And there we go. Let's focus our view on the moon here. And we'll make an adjustment. And sure, I think we want to come in on from the right side of this guy here. We can use a little bit less fuel, I think. And just adjust the point where we perform this burn. How's that looking right there? 99,000. I'd like to get closer to like around 10, I think. So, okay. There we go, 10,741 meters. That should do the deal right there. Okay. We're just gonna start our burn right now. And once it starts coming out, it starts going real fast, so let's throttle her down. Throttle it way down. And okay. Focus view on the moon there, and we'll just give it a little squirt or two. Try and get to about, let's call it 18,000. I think that's probably gonna be good enough. I don't want to slam into no mountains or nothing. And yes, I think that will do it for now. Let's see. How's our fuel? Yeah, we got plenty of fuel left, hopefully. Hopefully enough fuel to get down onto the moon, back into orbit, and back on a return trajectory back to Kerbal. Warp to just before, or just after we enter into the sphere of influence. Excellent. Sweet, sweet, sweet. And our Force Science mod is going to automatically collect the science for us. So, let's see. Let's get this thing into a circular orbit around the moon. We're going to add a maneuver right about there. And of course we want to do a retrograde burn. That will probably be good enough. We'll just do a little teeny tiny bit of time acceleration to get there. And sure, full throttle. And as soon as it flips, sure, we'll call that good right now. We'll check in with Bob here. Bob's looking a little freaked out at the moment. But let's see what kind of science we've got. And again, it's I suppose maybe a little cheaty using the Force Science mod, this thing right here, because it's going to automatically collect all the sciences, even from all these use once experiments. Normally we got to get Bob out of there in order to collect the data and reset things, like our materials bay and all that sort of stuff. But the Force Science mod will automatically do that as long as you have a scientist on board. Some of them aren't giving us a whole lot of science because we've already done our moon flyby in an earlier mission. But that's okay. We'll get a little bit more science from this once we actually land on the surface. So let's maybe put in maneuver node right about here. And we can do a burn that'll bring us down to the planet's surface, or the moon's surface. And I'll point out our burn vector here. I think at this point, I'm going to hit a quick save. I'm just going to go ahead and delete that maneuver. In fact, I'm going to time warp forward a little bit, get a little bit closer to it. And we're just going to start burning retrograde right here. And sweet. Okay, now comes the fun part. The fun part of landing the sucker. Ooh, and there's a nice flat spot coming up right here. Let's go ahead and get rid of some of this sideways momentum. And is it going to be enough? I think we may crash. Yep, looks like we're going to crash. Okay, so yes, I think we're just going to have to burn like crazy here. We really got a lot of speed to remove here. Try to bring that down under 100. And get her under 50. And we got the surface coming up. Take off most of that speed. Come on now. So tricky. Too much again. And sweet, there we are. There we are. Big question is, will we have enough fuel to get back home? Because I am terrible at landing on moons, terrible as you can see. So, but we're gonna find out. Let's see. Let's get Bob out of here. We're gonna send him on a little EVA. And let him fall on his face. Oh, jeez, he almost lifted up the whole rocket there. Turn his RCS on. Sweet. Bob is on the moon. He is on the moon. And let's take a surface sample. Of course, we're going to take that. We're going to keep that data, and we're going to plant a flag. And first, moon landing. Bob Herman was here too. Suck it. Big time. Yes, because Bob rocks. He rocks. Big time. Okay. Now let's get his little butt back into the ship. Oh, that's close enough. We can go ahead and board him in there. Dump those duplicate experiments. Cool, cool, cool. And I don't know if we're going to have enough fuel to get Bob back home. But we are going to find out. I guess let's go full throttle. 90 degree, and we're just going to go like this. I think we're going to need to get a little bit higher. Get above 10,000 at least. We'll add a maneuver here. Really don't think we have enough fuel. We might have trapped Bob on the moon. Let's find out. We're just gonna burn, see if we can circularize our orbit. Okay, well, we're gonna stop right there. I need to add a maneuver right about here. Let's see if we can get an escape, which I'm pretty sure we don't have the fuel to do. It says we'll need a 17-second burn. I don't know. I think that might not be correct, but let's find out. Let us find out. Do we have the fuel to get an escape trajectory here from the moon, let's warp around to here. Because if we don't have enough to make this burn, we're just going to crash back onto the moon's surface anyway, so let us pray we've got enough here. And pointing along our burn vector, 18-second burn. We're going to hit it about 9 seconds before, and hit it. Are we going to make it? Are we going to make it? We might just do it. We might just barely make it. Okay, how are we looking here? Get that down to about 23. Sweet. And look at that. Look at that. That was literally almost all of our fuel. Oh man, oh man, oh man. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and time accelerate forward now. Till we leave the moon's sphere of influence. Back into a carbon capture orbit. There we go. Let's switch back to carbon for our focus view, and we're gonna warp to right about. Nope. Let's retract these. And wouldn't you know it, I actually wow, I actually went through the atmosphere, I think. Time warped. I thought it was coming in on the other side, but apparently I was wrong. We're coming in on a normal orbital direction here, so I'm going to burn off the last bit of our fuel here. We've got a 23,000 periapsis, so sure, let's just try to bring our apoapsis down. It's going to bring this up a little bit too, so let's warp to here. We don't want quite the steep an angle here, so let's warp to our apoapsis. Okay. And just do a little prograde burn to bring that back up again. Too much. Back retrograde, and hopefully we've got enough fuel. Sure, we'll just call that good enough. And we're going to warp around to right about here. And in the dark side again. So, I think right now is probably... This is as good a place as any to go ahead and jettison. Roll the craft around retrograde. Pretty hard to see right now. But we're going to hit the atmosphere fairly soon. We're at 100 and descending. Let's go ahead and time accelerate until the music stops. And time accelerate forward a little bit more until we start getting some friction. Give us a little bit of a glow. We can see what the heck we're doing. Okay. Here comes the re-entry part. Here comes the scary part, Bob. Don't worry, we'll get you home alive. I got about a 3,000 plus meter per second orbital speed. We're gonna bring that way down. Way, way, way down. Let's time accelerate forward just a little bit. How are we doing? 27,000. Under 2,500 meters per second. Our speed's starting to come down. Sweet. Speed coming way down now. Yes, we get chute deployment. Or chute open. We can go ahead and jettison our heat shield, I think, and splash down. Sweet. Alrighty. Bob survived the mission to the moon and back with literally almost zero. Just maybe a drop or two of fuel left. We're going to go ahead and recover the vessel. We did collect a lot of science from before on our moon flyby, so I didn't think we were going to get a whole lot, but we got another 715 science for that, and at least we did plant ourselves a flag on the moon. That's just pretty cool. So let's see, what did we get? Got a few recovered parts, and you know, the thing I forgot to do was to check to see if there were any missions that we could have done while we're up there. What could we have done? We could have conducted temperature surveys from the moon. We could have got that. Oh boy, I missed out on all that. I was too focused on getting Bob up there on the surface of the moon and back. But we can repeat that mission if we want. You know, why not? What the heck? I don't care. I don't mind spending money on missions. So anyway, we got that out of the way. Excellent. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit that like button, comment, share, subscribe, follow me on Twitter, and always obey your alien overlords, or you will be probed in your bunghole. Once again, this is Alien Pet 13, signing off. Probe you later.